I feel like it makes it harder to look behind you.
It does. It is a little bit hard for me to look behind, but that's mostly me. Like some of that's me because I can't necessarily. I don't know. If I look behind, it's a 50-50 if I somehow oversteer and go into the wall for no reason.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I've got the genetic advantage of having a long neck.
Yeah.
So low-key, it's like I could just turn it all the way.
That hurts for me to
and just look.
Alright, so this is round 4 or 5, I think. It might be more like 3 or 4, to be honest, of my local Rotax track. This is down in Maryland, at right next to the airport BWI. Not really close to me, but in the general area. So we're going out here for practice. You get 3 sessions: practice, quali, and a race. Usually there's about 2 groups. Sometimes there's 3 if there's a lot of people, but usually about 2. For practice, it's free cart assignments. You just go out, get in the cart that you want. As you see here, we're in 30. Usually I'll try to get into a cart that I haven't driven before, or a cart that I know probably isn't one of the fastest carts, to try and get a feel for, a midfield cart that I may have to use come quali or the race, because for quali and the race, 2 different carts are assigned to you. So that way there is no debate on, people getting out there for the fastest cart. We're suited up here, about to go out now. Just a couple of, just some lore here. We won Series 1 of this racing league. There's 2 series for the year, I think, and this is round through anywhere between 3 and 5, I'm not sure, of Series 2. We won Series 1 based on points per race. We actually don't have a Rotax win to date of this recording, which is unfortunate, but, still won the series, so kind of still a flex. We have some of our contenders in front of us here, mainly on the left here, Nick. He is one of our main contenders. We also walked past Wendell in the pit lane, who is also another main contender for the actual championship itself. Right now, at this recording, we sat in first in the championship by a little bit of a margin, not crazy, but we're getting let out onto the track here. Very interesting track in general, at least I think so. It's quite bumpy on some parts, specifically into turn 1 in the top of the track here. As we go around a lap, this is what I consider turn 3, into a nice sharp hairpin. Take much more speed in here than you think, but as you can see, tires are definitely cold. We sat in the pit lane for a little bit, so everything's a little bit cold. We have just a little bit of traffic, and we're just going to move past. Was a little bit confused here as the dude in front had really slowed and was throwing up a hand signal that I just didn't catch, so I just wanted to be sure that he wasn't trying to throw me a caution or anything like that. And as we move up towards the top end of the track here, a lot of chicanes in the straights. They give it a lot of personality, to be honest. I like those. As we move in here for the start-finish, we started pushing pretty early here in practice. That's kind of how I like to do things. I like to push early on and just get to grips, get the adrenaline going, and just really get a feel for, the cart and what's going on here. A lot of oversteer into this hairpin, like I said, pushing with the cold tires and everything. There's just going to be a lot of slippage, but mostly this is just for getting myself dialed in. So the lines definitely aren't ideal, and the driving style is definitely a little bit choppy here. But as we start to work our way into the track, everything's going to be just fine. And coming up into this really nice right-hander, it's got a lot of character. It switches uphill to downhill, basically at the turn-in point. So it makes the cart light in the rear, and you really have to be dialed in there. Too late and you'll understeer, too early and you'll oversteer, over-rotate into the barrier, and have an unpleasant time. A little bit of camber in that double apex as well, just helps you ride it a little bit more, and just get that little bit of extra speed that, otherwise you wouldn't be able to carry through there. One thing with our local track here, and this is kind of all rental karting, obviously, but very dependent upon your kart that you actually have. There's always going to be, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 karts that are just significantly faster than the rest. It's just the way it goes with rental karting, you know. They can't make every kart perfect, which is okay. Actually, in Series 1 of this season, we had a lot of incidents of tires flying off the karts, a lot of reliability issues, but for Series 2, they were able to hire a little bit more staff on the mechanic side of things, and so most of the karts now seem to run pretty even. Some of them are just slightly slower, and there's probably about 3 that are quite quick. Number 16, 00, and 26 this night were all pretty fast. As we are coming into the turn 3 here, into the hairpin for one of the last times, not quite yet, but roughly around halfway through the session at this point, I believe. Practice is 10 minutes long, along with our quali, and then our race is 10 laps. So quite a short race, more of a sprint. It's very much a push, 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 push type of race. Oversteer going through the double apex there, back up into the uphill chicane, turning right like at that concrete, basically trying to get a nice exit out of that corner to get set up for the chicane here. That doesn't seem very important, but it's a place where you can gain a lot of time, as well as here going into 3. We've been running a little bit wide here for the practice session, as we are just kind of getting dialed in for the first laps here. Did not get a good run out of the hairpin. So just more of a little bit of a choppy lap, to be fair. Didn't take the right angle through that corner either, but nonetheless, gonna keep pushing on here. We do our races at night, so as you can see, it's just kind of progressively getting a little bit darker here. The parking lot lights starting to flicker on, and it makes it really fun. At least for me, I feel when it's nighttime, you just go 10 times faster, even though you really don't. It just feels faster. But I really do enjoy the night races. It just sucks with the GoPro quality. You know, it goes down as the sun goes away. So that is a little bit of a hit that you take, but that versus Epic Night Racing, I'm taking Epic Night Racing every day of the week. That's just me personally. Into turn 1, big bump in there. Gotta be very careful, roll the car over turn 3. Not quite as close to the wall as we would like, but still a good exit. Into the hairpin now, getting nice rotation, a little bit busy on the steering wheel, but still getting in that slip angle nicely up here towards the C-pillar turn. That's what we call it. Not great speed through the corner, but really decent exit, so we'll take it. Get all the way wide for the double apex here, trying to keep it just a little bit thinner to get a little bit more rotation, a little bit more grip. Having to pass some traffic here, which is not ideal, but we're not in quali, so it's not that big of a deal. Right next to those tires obviously compromises the exit a little bit, having to take that thinner line, and then making our run all the way down to the chicane for the end of the practice session.
There's a line on the fuel tank going to the engine, and if you take it off before you leave the pit, it adds horsepower.
Does it really? Wow. Yeah, because it runs leaner that way.
Yep,
wow. That's so smart.
Turbo makes the turbo speed
shit.
and the alternator.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He's right.
Mine was hidden though. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
It's muffler mounted turbo.
Bro, you literally did a 45.3.
Now you're lying.
I'm in 29.
Did you say 1 for me? I didn't hear
You're
you.
in 4, the best car.
I'm in 4?
Yeah, you're in the best car.
No, 16's the best.
4 is the best car.
16 or double.
4 is the
4 is fast though. He said 4 for me, you sure? Okay. I definitely didn't hear him, so. You ready?
Huh?
You ready?
I think.
Oh yeah. Let's go. Group 1, baby. Yeah, baby. I don't know who that was. That wasn't me.
I don't know who that was.
Have you seen that video of that little girl and she farts and she goes, guys, I don't know what was that, but it wasn't me. Oh my god.
Hey.
Fuck. Hey. Fuck you. It's not that dark.
Yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Wait. It's not a dark tint. It's like light.
It's gonna be like him crashing into people.
Maybe. This red protector is like rubbing my titties, dude.
As you can see, they're a little bit uncomfortable as we sit into the cart, but surely nothing that will affect us going into quali there. A little bit of that pre-race, pre-qualifying shit talk, a little bit of that banter. You know, gotta get the boys hyped for the session. As you heard, we do have part 4 for quali, which was not a horrible part. It had good top end, good turn in, you know, good grip all around. Where it did struggle, as you can hear there, not courtesy of my nice wide line, is the throttle issue with this cart. It just seemed like coming out of the lower revs, it just had a really, really tough time getting up into the power band, or just even increasing the revs at a decent rate. It just wasn't very efficient, which kind of sunk to have in quali. Quali is kind of where you want your best cart, to be honest. I feel like in the race, it's definitely important here, as there's a lot of overtaking opportunities, so quali is not always the most important thing. However, I do feel that if you qualify too far back, you do really just run the risk of having no time to catch up with it only being 10 laps. One thing they've also started doing at the track is promoting the winner of B-Main up into the A-Main race if we have the carts to do so, which I think is pretty cool. But I do like that, just giving that B-Main winner an opportunity for points for a good performance, which I agree with here. As we're really kind of just trying to settle into the qualifying here and just get on pace, really get to maximizing the cart in every way that we can, working around this throttling issue, really just trying to do everything that we can to try and get ourselves in the best position for the race. Being able to get a little bit thinner into the double apex there, definitely getting a little bit more speed. One thing I do like to implore during my practices, qualies, is bumping the barriers a little bit. You don't really get in trouble here for it as long as you're, you know, sneaky and not too obvious about it. If you slide some of those barriers in on apex, just gives you a little bit more room to really just dip all the way inside. You know, really just gain that extra half a tenth of time, and it doesn't seem like much, but it definitely pays dividends. In the top splits, usually we're not much more than 4 to 5 tenths apart within the top 5, something like that. So it is quite close towards the top of the group here. As we're coming into that long left there, going into our chicane for a push lap here in quali. Just rolling over that bump in turn 1, getting all the way on the wall for 1 and 2, and then getting nice and close for 3. Take all that energy out to the outside, bring it back in, get good turn in for the hairpin, a little bit wide, but carry decent speed, trying to work around that throttle issue, so that'll work for this lap. Getting decent rotation, a little bit messy on the line there. Like I said, still going to work at the moment. Taking the double apex, carrying some good speed through there, still struggling with the throttle in this cart. It just really would not let us exit, but nonetheless still pushing. Getting quite a horrid exit out of that turn, if I'm completely honest. That is going to hurt our time here. Coming up on some traffic now as well in quali, which is definitely an issue occasionally here, just with some people having the slower carts on track and whatnot. You have to be careful about just running into the traffic when you're on good push laps, such as right now. Definitely was on a decent push lap, and now we are backed up behind some of the slower traffic, so we're just going to go ahead and make the move to get past them. Going down into this double apex for one of the last times, not quite yet here, but hopefully going to be able to get a good quali lap set as we come up into the uphill once again. The long left, a little bit of a dodgy exit, but all is good. Getting nice and close to those walls. All the way to the right, roll over that turn, or roll over that bump, excuse me. getting nice and close to the walls in every turn, 1 through 3. Getting on the brakes nicely, really getting tucked into that apex. That throttle issue is killing our time here. Ordinarily, that would have been a very, very good corner. But just with the throttle issue, limiting us a little bit nonetheless. Doing well going down into the double apex, a little bit wide. Killed our momentum just a little bit, but not horrible. And as we come up into the left-hander here, rotating a little bit slow and just getting quite a horrible exit, which really compromised our overall top speed into this, which sucked because that was the end of the quali session. So unfortunately, quite a good lap, mostly thrown away there in the last corner, but overall not too bad. As we round out of the hairpin one more time, I do just want to point out the C-pillar turn here. A little bit of a tricky corner, given that it does have that elevation switch basically at turn-in, which, you know, keeps your rear end quite light, but also a place popular for other people to overtake. Gotta be honest, personally, I'm not a fan. You lose a lot of time going side by side through there, but it just seems to be quite popular.
Nice job, dude. Hell yeah. That was great,
Please
dude.
listen
That was
up
really
for
good.
your randomly assigned part.
Hello.
Alex
What
in
the fuck?
25, Nicholas in 4, Steve in 1, Jacoby in 26, Cooper in 16, Christopher in 8, Arjun in 3, and Kevin in 30. Please make your way to your cart.
Here, come on.
I heard it.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if I should piss now or should I piss.
Piss it in the suit while you're out there. If you lose weight mid-race like that, it'll be good for you.
Yeah, the guy behind you
Yeah.
won't get any grip.
Create an oil slick, you know what I mean?
Like, some
That's what you want to do.
Do it on like the first lap though while our tires are cold.
Yeah, do that.
Otherwise it'll just. Oh, so I can warm them up.
If you can kind of get like your hips rotated and you unzip the suit, it'll, you know what I mean?
Oh, it
Like
could be an
Mario.
oil trail.
Yeah,
So you guys
exactly,
can
exactly.
slip. Bro,
Kind of like
that's-
Mario,
that's
like
so
Mario. You
tough.
just, you know what I mean? Now you gotta have a hog, but
It might get stuck in the. It might get stuck in the.
it's stuck in the chain.
It's stuck in the chain.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Should I join A main in the back with 29 and ruin one of y'all race?
Yes, ruin their race.
If you get like 6 or higher.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? I'm in 4. What are you in?
26.
Oh, this
But I
is gonna be
haven't
so
ran
cool.
it. I haven't ran it. Is it good?
It's good. It's good. It's good.
I'm scared. What if it's bad?
It'll be good. It'll be good.
All right. It had better be. What are they looking at?
I don't know, but I'm not in that one, so I ain't that.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that
Do you
either.
know you're starting?
4.
I think we're next to each other.
Are we? Shit. The friggin' Burrell guys are telling me the outside is cooked, bro.
The outside is cooked.
It's not cooked, bro. Outside superiority, bro. I'm telling you right
Superiority
now.
on what? Getting it past in turn 1?
No, I'm gonna pass in the
And two?
hairpin. I'm gonna pass in the hairpin and then set it up in the uphill and go.
Bro, I don't know like how delusional you think you are, but
Listen,
that
listen.
is-
Alright, so as we get ready for the race here, just more of that pre-race banner there, talking to some of our competition, Nick and Wendell. Also getting a little bit of the chat in with the other boys as well. Making our way to the grid here, we are P4, as you heard. So not a horrible quality spot. To be completely honest with you guys, I'm definitely not somebody who likes to start 1 or 2. To me, maybe it's a little bit of the pressure, but personally I just don't like the idea of everybody else being behind me going into that corner. Because when you're in one of those spots, you are doing your best to reserve your track position and really just get the most out of your race start. And sometimes being careful but fast with that can lead to people, you know what I mean, just giving you big old taps in the back, which just sucks in general. We were doing a little bit of chat talking about the starting on the outside of the track here in P4, which a lot of the guys around here seem to think is not ideal. I will say in my personal experience, 8 times out of 10, it's pretty good. But nonetheless, as we go around for our warm-up lap here with the tires, we actually do get a rolling start in this series, so that is quite nice. Adds a little bit of character to the race, makes it a little bit more fun. As you can see here, just doing everything we can to warm those tires up. Sometimes it gets a little hairy with this. I wish they had a little bit more of a structured system with how we were warming the tires and how to be careful about people on track, but I've never seen anybody cause any serious incidents, so we are all good. As we roll towards the top of the hill, they give us the green flag once we get on that start-finish straight just after the chicane. But we do have I believe he's the owner, or at least the dude who's there most days, maybe like a manager, who goes ahead and splits us right about here on track. As you can see him there waving, telling us to keep it all slow. They really do like to have a nice, clean race start all the time here, so you do have to be quite cautious. As you can see here, a couple people jumping that start a little bit as we got the yellow as well. A little bit of the confusion there, but the yellow just to signal that we need to go around once more and that our start was not grouped up, or our start was not clean enough and our group was not grouped up enough. Anyway, as you can see here, really crawling for our race start here, which almost negates all of the tire warming that we did beforehand, but still keeping a little bit of temperature. It should be all right, but just quite a slow start. But we do not want to get the yellow once more and get the go around, because that would just be plain embarrassing, to be completely honest. And this is Group A, so Group B did run before us. As you saw, we were talking to Wendell earlier. He's one of our main competitors as well. I do not believe he joined the race. But as we get ready for the race start here, a couple of guys getting a little bit of that extra momentum a little early. I was trying to be a little bit more well-behaved here. As we duck in, immediately kind of losing that position to the two guys coming up the inside, and that turns out to be three by the time we get to the hairpin, giving Nick quite the bump. Can't say that was my cleanest racing ever into the hairpin there. As we go up through the C-pillar turn, take the exit here, committed to our line, and we unfortunately have contact with that driver on the outside. It's looking quite washed here at race start, I cannot lie to you. But these two getting into a squabble together through the double apex, able to, through goes Hamilton on them, and then tuck back into our race. Definitely not the cleanest race start. As you can see, we've lost a lot of time to the guys up front. However, it is still early doors, early stages of the race, so there is a chance that we can come back if those three that are ahead of us decide to fight. So even though we had quite a crappy start, we are still able to maintain our position after lap one and really just tuck in and do what we can. Really the goal here at this point in the race is to just tuck in, get good, clean laps, consistent laps, and just push to get to that group up front and pray that they go ahead and fight for a track position. As you can see here, as we come up towards the apex, or this long left hand, once we get to the apex here, you can kind of see the guys, not quite now, but as we get onto the main straight, maybe you'll be able to see them. Nope, still gapping me, absolutely. But they are fighting just a little bit, and so eventually here, we can kind of see them towards the left of the vision, coming back towards us very slowly. Like I said, unfortunately it sucks that we have the night races with the bad lighting, so it gets a little bit hard to see things on the GoPro, and as well as the track just being so bumpy, it's a little bit shaky, and I'm not rich, so I don't have that GoPro camera stabilization, or stabilization? I don't know, English is my first language and I still can't speak it. Anyway, up into the left hand, as you can see, we are getting a little bit closer to these guys, starting to be able to see the helmets over the barriers, and that's just an indication that we are slowly getting closer and closer. So far, we've kept things pretty neat and tidy, bar lap one, tucking all the way to the left here so we can get the nice drive through the right hand of the apex. One of my strongest corners on track once I get into my groove, I think. Definitely, I seem to always be able to gain about half a car length to a car length, depending on the person there. So, just glad that I have a couple of opportunities in clean air to go ahead and do some catching up. As you can see, they are significantly closer now, so they are definitely fighting hard. Lots of side-by-side through the uphill, and as we come through the chicane onto the main straight, they are all over the place. Gives us a beautiful run down into turns 1 through 3. Just tucking in a little bit, but he drifts wide, so we're going to go ahead and put the nose in, and we're going to take that position off of him, make that overtake fast, make it happen soon, and continue to try and push for the guys up front. Being a little bit cautious there just to make sure that we're not getting sent up the inside. Getting a nice run down to the double apex, and you see the Burrell guy taking it quite thin, and he's actually gaining a lot of time there on me throughout this race. So definitely something to take note of as we go. So just sticking behind here, could have put the nose at the inside there, would have been a little bit hectic, would have been a little dangerous, and would have overall lost us a fair bit of time to the leader. So just trying to stay clean and trying to keep consistent laps. Getting dropped a little bit through that sector, but still managing to hold on quite well. A little bit of bumpiness through the hairpin, and as we come up to the left-hander, and this is what you'll see as they get side by side through the right-hander, excuse me, as they get side by side through the right-hander, we're just able to gain copious amounts of time. And it's one of the main reasons I hate overtaking into that, is just because the amount of time that you lose going side by side is horrible. A swapping of positions now, so we now have the guy in the black suit, whose name I believe is Kevin, is now directly in front of us. Was going to go ahead and send it up the inside, but I still wanted to catch the lead, as I am looking for a win here in this race. So just decided to stay behind. Still in the, not the opening stages of the race, but we are now settled down, so we're definitely trying to keep it clean. Nothing too crazy yet, but as you see, a little bit of a half-hearted attempt that turned into a full-on overtake. We managed to not lose a whole lot of time to the leader, or at least I didn't, which was really convenient, because as I said, I don't like to overtake into that corner, but I felt like at that time it had to be done. So we went ahead, licked the stamp, send it, and pushing on to the leader. Going through the chicane here, pulling out a little bit of a gap on me, especially as we come into 1, 2, and 3 here. Just seems like a little bit more commitment, a little bit of a better line, able to carry just a little bit more speed, and that does give him that advantage there. As we come through the hairpin, gaining a little bit of that time back, through the right-hander, that C-pillar turn, and getting a nice drive down into the double apex here. And this is where the adrenaline really gets pumping, really gets flowing. You know, your heart rate increases, you start to become a little bit aware of the fatigue that you have, and you're still trying to push through that as we're getting towards the closing stages of the race. Still about midway through, but definitely going to want to start thinking now about sending an overtake sometime soon here. So as we trail the leader, we just are looking for any opportunity we can and trying to just do our best. As we come through the hairpin, one more time, the hand goes up, the leader's off to the left with a issue with the cart, which promotes us into first position, which is quite convenient because he was quite a fast driver, and it was going to be a little bit tough to go ahead and overtake him for the lead. So very, very lucky with that. Unfortunately for him, his sprocket did give out. We talked after the race, but not going to be a completely fortunate situation for me. As we come through the chicane here, back onto what I would call the main straight, we get a double flag here, and this was what was confusing because I could not tell the color of the flags. I knew one was white, but I was not sure the color of the other, so I just assumed it was yellow, which was a good assumption, but it was a weird spot to throw the yellow given that the caution was up here on the track where the opponent went off. And as we slowed down to just kind of be respectful, the dude in second passed through, and it was a little bit confusing. Waved us back through to the double apex, but did stay right on tail. But all racing rules definitely respected. It was just a little bit of a confusing situation. Check the back left corner. He's there, going up the inside. This is the last lap, so as we go through this chicane here, trying to get the best drive we can across the line, trying everything we can to be across the line in first, and it just is not enough. A little bit disappointing, I will not lie. A lot of emotions running through at that time, and what I did not know directly after the race is that the dude in first actually did spin off. And I thought that Nick here was actually the guy I was racing. A little bit of language there. I might get fined by the FIA if I ever go to anything official. But and as you see here, we actually are fist bumping our winner there, which at the time I did not know, and I do not find that out until a little bit after the race because I really did think it was Nick. But finishing second by mere inches, which was just disappointing to say the least. Still one hell of a race. It was a lot of fun. I was still very stoked. Not as upset as it seemed in the moment. Afterwards, I kind of just was able to be alright about it, but it sucked. It definitely sucked. A little bit of a Ricardo moment here, just taking some time to take in everything.
Were you slowing down on that last lap?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought like you slowed down for like a yellow or something.
Well, they double waved. I didn't know if it was yellows, but he was on track in the corner, so I didn't want to send it through. You know what I mean? Even though he was well out of the way, but I still.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second, and then I was like, fuck it, I want the win.
Yeah.
I'm taking it back.
Like that, bro. That was crazy. I was like, okay, this guy
Nice job,
is
dude.
not letting me pass.
Nice job.
That was not good on me. That was good on you.
It's all right. It's all right. Oh, I shouldn't have let you even go up the inside of that corner anyway. I should have
I need
defended.
to watch that back because what the fuck happened, bro?
I slowed down for that yellow, and then I switched back with you because I saw you coming. And by the time I looked, I think you were already alongside, so I couldn't move over into you. So I ran you. You know what I mean? I tried to switch.
A little bit awkward here because this is not the person that we were actually racing there. So I'm explaining a race that he did not take part of to him. So it was a little bit awkward, a little bit funny. But just doing a little bit of a debrief here. Overall, it was a good night. It was a good race. We did try our best in the best cart and still P2. But hopefully we do look for a Rotax win here in the next couple of races, and we have some luck.